What's going on? We're live again. It's Ed here from ClicksGeek. It is 3:25 East Coast time on January 6th. And getting near the end of the workday here. Just wanted to pop on, answer some questions, and just talk about how to start a PPC agency, how to get marketing clients, whatever it is you guys want to talk about. All hell is breaking loose in the capital right now. I think in DC and in Georgia as well. People have stormed the Capitol building. Yeah, it's an interesting day. So just wanted to hop on and have a chat. So if you guys have any questions, just fire away. I'm going to work in the background until I get some questions in the box. Fire away with whatever you guys have. You guys have any clients, any questions? Fire them over in the box. If not, I'll go through some questions we've gotten on the channel. Let's see here. We got one question in last night on our Facebook page, and that question was regarding that person is mostly familiar with generating leads for the purpose of affiliate marketing. So he would put people into autoresponders and would follow up with them that way. And his question was, when we generate leads for people, do we hook them into autoresponders? By default, the answer is no. However, we have lots of clients that do want that, and we will tie into their existing marketing channels. So, through Zapier, we could tie in with Go High Level, Aweber, Active Campaign, Get Response, MailChimp. Pick something. Like for us, we use two CRMs. For one business, we use Active Campaign that we tie into. For our other business, we use Close, which is more of like an an inside sales team CRM. And we have automations tied in for both of those. So yes, we do, but not standard out of the gate because a lot of people don't have that infrastructure. All right. Observer, thank you for joining me in my random lives. I'm just trying to get more and more comfortable with going live. Wasn't really comfortable with it last year. So let's see here. How do you acquire new PPC clients? Okay, so let me run through the new clients we've gotten since the first of the year. They are a real estate investor, and that was a referral from an influencer in the space that we've worked out an agreement with or a relationship with. Couple of junk removal businesses, and those were one was from direct mail, one was from an existing client that paused prior to the new year, I think in like November-ish. So it's two. We had a one-time campaign build that came in. That was an inbound lead through organic. We had a plumbing client come in that was through YouTube. That's PI one time. We had plumbing. We have in HVAC/electric client, and that was a referral from a Facebook group. All right, so it's Facebook group. Got another client, an active agency client, bringing on another one. That's in restoration. Sorry, I'm just going through all this right now in my head as we're doing this. I'm trying to think of all the onboards we've done and are doing. So, real estate investor was a referral from an influencer. Two junk clients. One was a one-time campaign build in the legal space. Plumbing client was from YouTube. HVAC/electric client was from a referral from the Facebook group. And then we had another client who was bringing on an additional client in that, an additional agency client to us. Let me see here if I can pop in and take a look, see if there's any that I'm forgetting. We have a mobile, a mobile home, like a We Buy mobile home company. They came in via referral from a consultant that we work with. And a detailing company came in via YouTube lead. Another guy came in through organic. He's another lawyer. Came through. He came through organic and / YouTube. Yeah, so it's been a very busy first start to the month. So long story short, if I had to look at it all, it's inbound, it's referrals, influencer relationships, one direct mail in there. So nothing super outbound at this point, other than work we've done in the past. So once you've been established and you have those relationships with influencers or referral partners, and some Facebook groups or organic channels, inbound leads start to come to you, and it's a beautiful thing. How would you use LinkedIn for prospecting new clients? Jay, we went over this, I believe, the last live that we did. With LinkedIn, the important thing is not to sell on there. It's to basically just get your foot in the door and have a conversation offline with somebody. So pick up the phone once you've made that initial connection, pick up the phone with them and have a sales, business conversation with them. Don't be pitching and selling directly on LinkedIn. At least that would be my recommendation. I get probably, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 inbox messages a day with people trying to sell me stuff on LinkedIn. I hate it, and I just delete it and block it. It's become abused. So my biggest recommendation would be to show some sort of social proof and just ask if you could have a meeting with them of some sort, but do it in a more crafted, a better approach than what I just laid out there. What I described the other day was the book by Scott Channel, Sell the Meeting. A lot of his principles that he talks about with cold calling are effective on LinkedIn as well. Who does your fulfilling? So we do everything in-house. It's my partner. We do everything in there. When are you publishing the direct mail course? Observer, as soon as my lazy ass can finish it. I'm almost done. I've got to work through it. I was supposed to do it today. But my son decided to wake me up at the ass crack of dawn and wake me up saying that he wanted to watch the movie Sing. So I'm exhausted right now. It's been a long day, and there was no chance I was making course videos today. But it's on my to-do list, and I will get that done shortly. How do you think iOS privacy update on Google Ads performance in coming days? I have no idea what you're asking here, Ravi. Do you use Facebook retargeting? We do use it. We don't sell it as a service. I typically would just tell my clients that if they're looking for something for retargeting to do the Facebook option, it's simple enough to go to YouTube and type in how to set up a Facebook retargeting campaign. It'll take you all 10 minutes to learn and implement. It's just not a service I want to offer. I think the back end of Facebook is a pain in the ass to deal with. I know people think the same thing with Google Ads, but that's just our opinion on it. So I like it. I recommend it. I think it's faster to implement. I think you've got that, I don't want to say magician-like feel for a local business when you're crossing over platforms and you're following them on, Instagram and you're following them on Facebook. I think that's a pretty effective tool especially for local. I actually like it better than retargeting on Google, believe it or not. You can use a smaller list and a smaller budget and you get a good effect. The problem with Google ad retargeting is you've got to have a list. I think it's 100 people, 150 people on the list to start with. And even then, you have to think about this logically, right? If you're trying to get impressions, if you're trying to get views on your ads, you're competing with everybody else that has that person pixeled. So you've got 100 people on your list. Someone else has 30,000 on their list, or 1 million, or 10 million, or 100 million, or 5,000. You've got to basically have like 100% impression share to get anybody seeing your ads, and it costs a significant penny to do that. Not a significant penny. It's more, in my opinion, the money is better spent and will be more effective using a Facebook campaign. Until you've got like 500, 1,000 people on that list, then it becomes a bit more effective. And that's when I'd say, okay, let's roll that out. So I'd say Facebook to start. How do you charge a PPC client? Sudeep, we've got a video called PPC pricing models on the channel, and that'll go through some of the ways that we charge and some of the ways I see our partners charge, and kind of give you a full spectrum on what we see in the market, how we suggest doing it. So on the white label side of things, we charge $750 month one, and then $450 a month thereafter. And that first month, it's got the setup fee, the landing page build, the call tracking, all that build out. That's where that additional fee comes in. And on the retail side, it's somewhere between typically $600 and $1,500 a month, depending on the size of the client, the niche that we're targeting, how competitive it is. Yeah, so somewhere in that range. And we went towards a flat fee model. So once we decide on a rate, that's going to be the rate for that client for the duration that we work together. We used to do a sliding scale. We just found it to be a pain in the butt, and we switched. So we're a bigger fan of the flat fee model at this point. Raul is asking how to use the MCC account or the manager account in PPC. So for those of you that don't know, an MCC account stands for My Client Center. It's a free Google dashboard that allows you to manage multiple client accounts from one location. So it's free. It's really simple to set up. It'll take you all of 5 minutes. What you're going to do is you're going to create it using whatever email you use for your agency. So don't use joblo69@hotmail.com. Use something, professional enough that when a client gets an email notification saying that this email is trying to access their account, it doesn't make you look like a dope. So that's the first thing. So let's say you're abcagency.com and it's ed@abcagency.com or abcagency@gmail, whatever. Use that to set up the account. And that dashboard that you create is going to be where all of your client accounts gets housed. So each new client that you bring on or each new audit that you do, you're going to add them into your MCC account. And then that's where you're actually that's the dashboard you're going to log into and have all of your client activity. If you decide to hire a white label provider or a freelancer to come in and help you manage those accounts, you can provide that person access direct to the MCC, or their MCC, if they have one, can connect with your MCC on the back end. And then that's how they'll be able to have client account access without actually logging directly into that client account. So I hope that helps. That's a short synopsis. We've also got a video on how to set up a Google Ads, a Google MCC account on the channel as well, if you look for that. Do you also have customers with low ad budgets? We do. We don't have a lot of them because I tend to push them away unless expectations have been set properly. Just because I want them to get enough clicks, to get enough leads, to get deal flow, and to get a return on it. The trick with smaller client budgets is reframing expectations that their budget means they're going to get less activity in the campaign. Less things are going to happen. It's just going to take longer to get to where they want to get to. So think in terms of like quarterly snapshots as opposed to month over month. I like to do budgets where our clients can get returns month over month. If they have a smaller budget and they're okay paying your management fee, that's fine. Just have them think in terms of, quarterly performance, because they may get the amount of data rolling through a campaign in a quarter that someone else is getting in a week or a month. And when I say data, I'm talking about the number of clicks. And based on the number of clicks is how much optimization you can do in the campaign. The more optimization you could do, the idea being that the campaign, it gets tighter and gets better. So we do have some small budget campaigns. They're not my favorite, but yeah, we do. The other thing to think about, low ad budget campaigns are all relative. It's relative to click cost. If you're at let's say $1 a click, and you're at $10 a day, and you're running 7 days a week, that's $300 a day, $300 a month ad budget. That's an appropriate ad budget for that particular niche, right? Dollar. That means you can get roughly 10 clicks per day. That's fine. However, if you're at that same click cost, and let me go back to another example just because I'm used to this one. Let's say you're at $50 a day, Monday through Friday. Over the course of the month, that's $1,000 ad budget. And let's say your click cost is 25 a click. So 25 click cost, $50 a day ad budget. That ratio right there is too tight. So you're breaking that golden ratio of Google Ads. If you guys haven't watched that, we've got a video on the channel called Google Ads Budget. What should my ad budget be? This breaks down how we help clients come up with a budget and how to justify what we're looking to have them spend in market based on where the competition's at. And that golden ratio is you want to have enough in the daily budget to get multiple clicks per day, 3, 4, 5 plus clicks per day, because we want it producing leads. And if you go into a campaign that you're only going to get a click or two per day, it's fine. It's just a slower moving campaign. And if you're in a scenario where the client lifetime value is very large, then it can make sense. However, if you're doing something like carpet cleaning, where the deal sizes are relatively small, they've got to have a big enough budget so they can get enough leads to get enough deals to make an ROI on the ad budget and your management fee. So put your business consulting hat on, your marketing consulting hat, and think about the numbers, from a consulting standpoint first, and that'll help you frame what an appropriate budget would be as well. So I hope that helped. How do you overcome merchant center massive suspensions on dropshipping stores? Ravi, I don't. I run in the other direction of e-commerce campaigns, so I can't help you there, man. We learned a long time ago that e-commerce wasn't our thing, and we really just specialized in lead generation using Google Ads. So that's really where we focus. How do you determine the ad spend for your clients? Observer, just went over that. Look up the video on our channel, Google Ads budget. What should my Google Ads budget be? Or AdWords budget. What should my AdWords budget be? Or just go to Google and type in AdWords budget, and you'll see my pretty mug up there. I think it's like the top 2 or 3 videos, something like that. I would definitely watch that. There's another video as well called Setting Expectations, or Google Ads, or selling Google Ads, setting expectations. I'd watch that one as well. I'm new to all this. Victor writes, I'm new to all this, but are you also doing affiliate marketing? And if you are, no, I'm not doing affiliate marketing. We have some affiliate links scattered throughout. I think we have one for Instapage and maybe for Aweber, but that's the extent of it. It's not a real revenue generator for us. So no, I'm not the best resource for that. What is the maximum number of client accounts you can have in a manager account, an MCC account? Jay, that's a good question. I have no idea. It's a lot though. I think we've got two or three managed MCC accounts. I'd have to look. It's a lot. I don't know exactly the number, because you can have MCCs can connect to MCCs, and under that MCC can have tons of other accounts. So there's a hierarchy structure. I don't know the exact number on that, but it's a lot. You'll be doing plenty of business and doing fine once you get to that point. I don't know what that number is though. Raul writes, do you prefer the MCC handling or the normal ads account as an agency? 100% without a doubt, the MCC route is the way to go, in my opinion. So you create your MCC account. Your client has their own ad account. They house their ad account inside your MCC account. And then when you have your next client, they bring their account into your MCC account, and the next one. And then this way, Raul's got one page he logs into, and it will make your life way easier. Another thing, in an MCC account, in an agency account, a manager account, whatever you want to call it, there is an option for you to create Google Ads accounts inside there. I would not do that option, in my opinion, because breaking that free, if your client ever decides to leave you, is kind of a pain in the ass. And it's you have to get Google support involved. It's not the juice is not worth the squeeze. So my recommendation is to have the client set up the account, and then you move the client account into your MCC. If the client, for whatever reason, isn't able to set up their own account, what we would recommend, we don't really do this anymore, but what we would recommend is create a new Gmail address for them. So let's say it's ABC Roofing. We'd get abcroofing1@gmail.com. We do this on the phone with them and set up the ad account, have their billing information, have them read you the card, type in the card information, add that MCC or add that account into your MCC account, approve the access. And then once it's approved, shoot the client an email and say, this is your new email address where you can access your Google Ads account. your credit card's on file. This is all in writing, and then send that off to them. That's now their responsibility. Their card's on file. If anything ever happens, they do a chargeback or whatever, that's in their account. That's how we would recommend handling that. Me for nothing. What do you think about someone using your case studies and testimonials? Then you guys fulfill. Case studies, fine. Testimonials, no go. Because our testimonials are they say our name in them, often my name or ClickSgeek in general. So testimonials would be a no-go, but case studies are good. And then we also have, I don't know, hundreds or thousands of screenshots of campaigns as well from over the years, from active campaigns and stuff that we have, sitting in our emails. So if you were to use this and needed a screenshot within a niche, you could just hit us up and ask to see if we have one in our Rolodex of them, and I could give you that and help supply that. What is one most difficult thing to run a PPC business? Sales, customer retention, ad management? Pippo, good question. And for me, I would say ads. My partner would say sales. So my partner and I have a good relationship because we have the yin and yang going. He loves what I hate, and I hate what he loves. So we're a happy marriage in that respect. So if I had to pick one thing, I would say customer retention, sales, management. I would say just building systems, getting the experience, and then building the systems appropriate to scale up and add on more clients and handle more and bring in more revenue. I'd say that's been not the most challenging, but it's taken us the longest to get really good at. It's taken us a while going back and forth over the years to really figure out how we groove together and how to get really efficient with our systems. Like some of the stuff that we came up with, like, for example, when we take on a new client, part of it is we'll purchase a domain on their behalf and set up the landing page there. Like little things like that, like teaching that taught us how to onboard people faster and get them into market faster. Most difficult thing to learn, I would say, is time is just time and experience is I don't want to say it's the most difficult thing, but it's been the best teacher for us. You get better the more you do of this. I don't know. That's a hard one for me to answer. I love this business. I love, if you think about marketing for other companies and you sit back and you think like, okay, I helped grow this business. And then you think about all the employees that are at that business. And then if you think about all of their wives and children or husbands and children, and then their children's children. So like you have this weird ability or cool ability to help a lot of people when you're able to help them generate revenue. So I like this business. Sorry, I don't know if I answered your question. How do you generate leads on brand or trademark terms as third-party advertiser? I wouldn't. What you would do is you don't use their name in the ad copy. You can advertise for the words, but you just can't use their name in the ads itself. If you go on Google support and look up that trademark question or brand question, there's support answers that'll walk you through how to do that. Raul writes, can you please explain the billing process and credit card system and MCC account? Yeah. So to have an MCC account, you do not need a credit card. It's free. The billing, the credit card is actually going to be inside your client's account. Okay. So we've got ClickSgeek. Joe's Plumbing is a new client. They come into ClickSgeek. That credit card is going to be housed inside of their account, in Joe's account. So that's where all the debiting happens. It's in Joe's account. I'm just a layer on top of it where I can log in and manage all from one location. As far as the management payment goes, that's between me and the client, and that gets paid direct to us. The billing of Google Ads is within the client account, and that happens with Google, direct with Google, and it's not a day one expenditure, their ad budget. That gets dripped out over the month, over the course of the month as it gets spent. So give an example, a client with a $3,000 a month ad budget. their card's on file inside their account. First couple of days, they're going to ding their card just to make sure it's a valid funding source. And then typically it's every $400, every $500, somewhere in that range. They're going to then ding their card. So a client that's running $3,000 a month, so 150 a day, Monday through Friday, you're at, every third day or so, they're going to get a charge on their card. That's how billing works quickly. Sean, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Luna, how do you charge your clients? Luna, if you go back and watch the beginning of this, we went over that earlier. And then also we've got a video on the channel called PPC pricing models, and we go through examples of how we charge, and then also how we recommend our clients charge, and also examples of how our clients charge. We've got a unique perspective in that we sell direct to retail. So I know how I do. And then we also have a ton of agency clients that work with us that I get to see how they charge their clients as well. A lot of it comes down to who you're selling it to, what type of size clients you're going after, and then also any other services that you're offering. So there's no one size fits all answer here. As long as the margin makes sense for you, you're making some money, the client's making money, it's low enough, or the client's getting enough value that it makes sense for them. I'd be doing you a disservice by just spouting off an answer, because it really just depends on, there's a lot of factors. So I would say watch that video. I think it would be helpful. PPC pricing models. What did you do before ClicksGeek? So I was doing marketing consulting prior, where I would go into businesses and basically walk through undervalued assets in the business and look to see how we could leverage them and make the client more revenue. So looking through their databases of old clients and how we could reactivate them, what other types of marketing they were doing to generate more leads. I'm a student of Jay Abraham, so his style of marketing. If you guys have not read this book, I highly recommend it. It's called Getting Everything You Can Out of All You Got by Jay Abraham. It's an awesome book on crafty marketing. He's got a ton of examples. He's literally generated billions of dollars for his clients over the years. And he's just a wealth of information. He's a weird dude, but I love his information. And then before ClicksGeek, I was in the limousine industry with my dad. We were doing corporate accounts, like NBC, ABC, like high-end corporate accounts and celebrities and that kind of stuff, and airport transportation and like movie premieres and all that kind of fun stuff. I've got some fun stories. Maybe I'll share at some point. And then before that, I was in corporate sales, and I was terrible at it. I was okay, but I didn't really, I did not really thrive in the environment. I think I needed to be out on my own. Roger, do you still prospect, or are you referrals organic white label? Yeah, we do. Not heavily at the moment, but we'll start sending out direct mail here pretty soon. And then around February, we're going to be hiring a full-time salesperson. So they'll come in and they'll be prospecting for us as well. And then as of last year, as of I think like November, I have to go back and look at the dates, but we did have a full-time sales guy who worked for us for a while. He ended up leaving. He started another business. I knew he was entrepreneurial when we hired him, but he was a steal and a good dude to work with. I really enjoyed working with him. So hang on one sec. I got my wife knocking on the door. I'm on live. What's up? All right. Raul asks, it's not the credit card system, it's the credit system. Raul, I don't know what you're asking about. How Google allows the account on credit system. Oh, so you're looking at, you're talking about how to set up invoicing. So building credit with Google. You'll have to go through, just Google that question, and you'll see there's support links on there and how to apply for Google invoicing. You have to go through a process to get it done, but we have some clients that do it, and it is possible. I don't know what country you're in, if you're in the US or where you are. I don't know if it's available for every country, But you can do it. I have some clients that do it. I just don't know specifics. Observer writes, do you have a copywriting framework for Google Ads? We do. We have obviously our Google Ads course. If you go through that, Rob teaches a specific formula for writing compelling ad copy. If you look in, I believe Rob's second to last video, going through the Google Ads course, there's a discount code in there. I think there's 100 of them that he opened up total. But if you want to grab the course, there is a discount code in there. If not, one of our earliest videos, going back to like 2018, is about writing compelling ad copy. And that's a good video. It talks about, how to elicit the direct response. It's simpler than you think. But once you learn it, it's very duplicatable, and Rob is very good at it. So I would say go through the older video on ad copy. I think it's ad copy that sells, or writing ad copy. If you just look on our channel, search on our channel for ad copy, or ad copywriting, you'll see some videos on it. And then also all of our optimization videos, you'll see ad copy examples within those as well. Raul writes, India. I'm not sure, man. I don't really know about India, what the deal is there. So sorry, man. I don't know. Just hit up Google support and ask if it's a viable option for you. Observer writes, in PPC business, at what point should you introduce white label services? You don't necessarily even ever need to. It just depends. Every business is a little bit different. I would say find out what your main your core is going to be. Is your core offering going to be SEO, and then you're going to offer PPC as a secondary service, or vice versa? Is PPC a skill that you're going to want to learn and to get you out of a job? There's a lot that goes into that question. Without more context, my service isn't needed really for anybody ever. You could always hire in-house. However, some instances, like we work with a ton of SEO companies, that's their core function. The client wants, they want PPC ads, so they bring us in, and we fulfill that portion of it for them. So you don't necessarily ever need to. And also the metrics have to work out for you. Are you charging enough to bring in somebody to pay in a white label scenario to fulfill the work for you? Or do you need more of, say, a freelancer who might charge less and then just pop in and out for you? It depends. It's I would need more context on that one, Observer. If you want to give me more of your scenario, I can walk through more thoughts on that. I have a ton of thoughts on it. It's a loaded question without more context. Raul writes, if a keyword is not ranking on Google's first page, even if we bid more than it asks and ads is perfectly created, then what do we do? I would say it depends. I would look at impression share. Know that you're never going to be on page 100% of the time. You're never going to, I won't say never. You're very rarely going to have 100% impression share. It's just very unlikely. So it also could come down to quality score. It could come down to how much budget you have. So there's a bunch of questions in that, Raul, that like secondary little things I would need to check off before I could give you an appropriate answer. So I need more context. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're at $5 click costs and you have a $10 a day budget. That means you really have room for 1 or 2 clicks per day over all of the other impressions, all the other searches that are happening on that given term for that day. So loaded question without more context. Ravi, love your answer. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. We can, if you want to shoot us an email through the site, we can connect. I believe you were the one talking about e-commerce earlier, though, if I'm not mistaken. Ravi, where are you? Yeah, Ravi, you were asking about the Merchant Center stuff. If you're looking to outsource to an e-commerce PPC provider, just hit me up and I can recommend some people. It's just not something we do ourselves. Sudeep writes, how much useful is Google Ads certification practically? Um, you don't need it. It's not going to be overly difficult to get it done. So it's like I go outside with a hat on, or I go outside with a hat on. I mean, I'm not going to get a sunburn on my hat if I don't have the hat, but I want to wear the hat. I mean, I don't know, that's a weird analogy. You don't need it, but it's good to have. Lots of companies make it a requirement if they're going to hire you, but you don't need it. Very, very few companies care that we're a Google Premier partner or a partner or whatever. Very, very few realize that. And I'm going to circle back here to a video that we did the other day, auditing the campaign, auditing existing campaigns, showing them what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and in a simple 1 to 2 page write-up, proving or showing the expertise in this is way more important than having the Google Ad certification, in my opinion. And that's how very rarely does us being a Google Premier partner or Google Ads partner or Google Ads certified make or break a deal for us. It's more that audit is the one that closes the deal for us. Observer, what do you use for billing? One company we use Google PayPal Pro, so like their business level one, and then the other we use Stripe, which is a giant pain in the ass in my opinion. We've got to use the third-party platform for recurring payments. Kind of a pain in the ass, if I'm being honest with you. We've got to bring in a developer to do it for us. I'm not a fan. If you're just starting out, PayPal recurring payments are super easy to set up. Just go to YouTube and type in how to set up a PayPal recurring payment or PayPal subscription. That's what you're looking for. It's a really simple process. I'll probably do a video now that I'm talking about it. I'll make myself a note. PayPal subscription video. All right, I'll make a video on that. That's a really simple thing to do. It literally will take you 5 minutes to set up, and it's really simple. We don't invoice people, and we don't chase checks. That's a no-go. That's a stop. Hold the press. We're not doing it type of thing. The beauty of this business, I'm not talking about our business, I'm talking about digital marketing in general, is that you don't need to send in an invoice and wait 30, 60, 90 days to get paid. You can get paid up front for your work. So when we onboard somebody, we send them a payment link and the questionnaire, the onboarding form, and they make payment as part of the onboarding process. And we don't onboard people until they actually make that payment. We have one guy who pays us after the fact, but he's got a bunch of clients with us, so he pays us the day we launch as opposed to that 3 or 4 day build period. So other than that, everybody pays up front as part of the billing onboarding process, and you want to make that your modus operandi. Make your life easier. Do not chase checks. Do not waste time with accounting. And when I'm saying all these things, I'm not commanding you. I'm just saying these are what we do from our experience. Don't chase the check. Don't make accounting a bigger headache than it needs to be. And the other thing is two things to note. If you run a 30-day billing cycle, that 30-day billing cycle is not going to fall on the same day of the month every month. The other thing is we switched to going to day of the month. So it'll be, if it's the 5th, we charge the 1st, it's going to be the 5th again for the auto pay. Whereas on the 30, if we did the 5th, depends on if it's got 30, 28, 31 days in that month to figure out when it's going to be for that next payment. So just a weird little tidbit, but that may throw some people off if they were expecting it to be on the same day. That's a setting change you can do within PayPal. Something else I'll throw in there about clients' budgets. When we make budget recommendations for clients, I'll give you an example. We say $2,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $100 a day, Monday through Friday over the course of the month. Technically, let me break out a calculator so you can see what I'm talking about. Technically, there's 4.3 weeks in a month, not 4 weeks. So technically, It's not 20 advertising days. It's a little bit more. But for ease of math and ease of explanation for people, that's how we recommend it. So give you an example. So 2,000 divided by your 20, that gets you that 100 per day. Keep in mind, there's going to be different number of Monday through Fridays in each month, slightly different, and depending on ad schedule. So 1 month it might be $2,100. 1 month it might be $1,700, and also you may leave money on the table as well. So that's another reason why I always recommend the client's credit card be on file in their account, and that gets debited direct from Google. It's not something they pay you, and then you've got to manage that portion of it as well. That's a logistical nightmare. I want nothing to deal with. So I hope that helps. These are all little tidbits we've learned over the years that have made our lives easier. Let's see. How often should we update ad copy after everything's set up, optimizing thing? Good question. So if you go through, Raul was asking about how often we should update ad copy during optimizations. So I would say it depends. You're going to want to create a threshold on what you consider good click-through rate and bad click-through rate. So if we're below this click-through rate, we're not happy with that. So we want to start testing new ad copy. And you always want to be testing ad copy at the ad group level as well. So it's something you're going to be doing anyway. How often also depends on how much data, how many clicks you're getting in the campaign. Someone that's getting a couple dozen clicks a month is very different than someone getting a couple dozen clicks per week. So it's a hard question to answer without more context. Again, I say that a lot, but it's true. We've got, I don't know, probably 5 videos on the channel about Google Ads optimizations, what to do, when to do it. I would go through those. Those walk through, how we optimize things. I think we have an optimization checklist video on there as well. And then again, our Google Ads course, there'll be a link below in the description when this is a recorded video. And then also Rob's last video, the video course, the Google Ads course walkthrough. There's a discount code in there as well if you'd like to purchase. But I'm not pushing it. I'm just throwing it out there. Observer writes, do you do any lead nurturing appointment setting for your clients? What happens after a lead submitted? Okay, so we do not do any lead nurturing after the fact. However, a bunch of agencies that we work for do. They may be the call center that actually handles the call, qualifies the call, and sets the appointment. And when I say call center, it could legit be a full-on call center, or it could be just a couple people that answer the calls for them and do that portion of it. Depends on how full service of an agency you want to be. Others will set up active campaign or go high level and things like that. We do not. We'll do it. We'll set up, a Zapier link or something like that for a client, but we're not actually fleshing out CRMs or any of the follow-up sequences, nurture sequences, or anything like that on the back end. Not saying it's not a good idea. I'm just saying it's not a service that we offer. Inspiration PPC writes, Raul, I would suggest going off of click volume. Don't overmanage, set benchmarks. Inspiration, you're right. I definitely agree with that. You want to be doing things based off of data, doing things based off of the numbers and not your gut feel. Once you start doing things off of gut feel, which is typically how you're going to see a lot of clients managing accounts, it's going to drive you nuts. If you're in the account every day optimizing, you're over optimizing. On most local businesses, once per week is typically enough because they don't have a ton of data rolling through them to optimize. Optimizations are based off of what the market's told you, what the data has told you, the story it's telling you. If your CTR is too low, it's telling you either you've got a bidding problem or you've got an ad copy problem. So once you run through this framework, then you start to see how it works. But you need enough data in there to do it appropriately. So thanks for that inspiration. Ravi writes, do you have a one giveaway for lead generation to boost as per your experience? I don't know what you mean, Ravi. Do you have one giveaway for leads generation? I think you're asking what would be my biggest giveaway for how to generate more leads for yourself, I think is what you're asking. I would say the realization that you're in a two-step sales process is very important. Sell the audit or pitch the audit. That's sale one. And when I say sale, I'm not saying you have to charge for it. I'm just saying that's the first part of it, of the two-part sales process. The second part is the actual sale of you being the manager of that account. So one of our more recent videos, it's Google Ads, selling Google Ads, a two-part sales system. I would watch that if you haven't already. That goes through how we sell accounts. That's how we've always sold the accounts. And we always will, because it makes the most sense. You know, you go in as the doctor, they come to you, they tell you what's going on. You ask to do a diagnosis, or you ask to do a diagnostic where you can run some tests on them and put them through the x-ray machine or run some blood work. AKA you're able to look inside the account and diagnose what's going on, what's working, what's not working, what's broken, what needs to be fixed. And then you prescribe a solution. You present your findings, and you are hopefully the solution to the problem. Not everyone needs us. Some campaigns we come across that are really dialed in, and they don't need our help. So, you know, that happens every once in a while. Someone will come in and their campaign's actually dialed in really well. And we say, I don't know how much of a needle mover we could be here for you. Things look like they're in good shape. You know, I think you're good to do this by yourself at this point. Or they may be like, okay, we know it's dialed in. We just want to get rid of our other management company because we don't like them personally. Or I'm exhausted. I'm doing all this work myself and I want to bring someone else in-house to do it. So as long as you're being transparent and you know the situation and why they're looking for a replacement, yeah, just, you know, be open about it. What do I think of high level? We used it for a period of time. It was buggy when we used it. We used it probably like a year or two ago. However, I didn't really give it a fair shake. But I have a bunch of agency clients that use it and absolutely swear by it and love it. I just have not made a circle back to it to check it back out again. How do your clients get their leads? All typically via form submission, email, and phone calls. So we're always pushing for phone calls more often than not. We can set up text notifications as well. In the US, all the carriers have emails associated with all of the phone numbers as well. So Verizon, for example, it's the Verizon phone number at verizon.net, and that will email to a text any of the information that you want done. Just a little tidbit. If you just go to Google and type in email to text for Verizon, or email to text for AT&T or whatever, it'll walk you through whatever that email structure looks like. And that's an easy workaround. How Raul writes, what do you recommend? What do you like? What do you recommend? Like after how long running Google ads? We do Okay. So remarketing with Google, you need 100 or 150 people on a pixel list, an audience, before you can actually kick in the retargeting. However, think of everybody else that has that person pixeled on Google. ESPN, Huffington Post, Fox News, a big e-commerce brand with 1 million people on their list. You've got 100 people on their list. They've got 1 million people on their list. You're both going after that same target. You're going to have to bid more to get the impressions, to actually get enough people to see your ads to get clicks, versus this company who's not, because their list is so large. So I'm not crazy about Google retargeting, at least out of the gate. I would suggest getting that list size to like 500 or 1,000 before we recommend turning it on. That's just my 2 cents. However, you could do YouTube retargeting ads. My recommendation for most of our local clients is to just do Facebook ads, Facebook retargeting ads. I don't offer it as a service. I know plenty of agencies that will upsell it to a client for an extra like $250 a month, something like that. It's pretty simple to set up. It'll take 10 minutes. If you don't know how to do it, just go to YouTube and type in how to set up Facebook retargeting ads. It'll walk through how to set up the pixel and then how to set up the ads. They're really easy to do. In our experience, we like to retarget with testimonial videos and call to action, things like that. But yeah, that would be my recommendation, because on $5 a day, there on Facebook, you can get way more done than you can with $5 a day on Google retargeting. That's just my 2 cents. If anybody's got a different take on that, drop it in the and that's for small lists. If anybody's got a different experience, just drop it in chat. I'd love to hear about it. Okay, awesome, Ravi. I'll ping you. Observer retention rate. We went over that last live. That kind of break down the difference between white label and retail. So I'd go back and watch that because we went in kind of in depth on that one. What else you guys got? I've got about 2 or 3 more minutes and then I got to jump. You guys got anything else for me? Awesome. Glad it was helpful. Observer, my name's Ed. What's your name? Raul writes, what do you recommend for the clients, particularly manufacturers, get them more leads? Good question. It would depend. I need more context on this. I would say if there's search volume, then you could run Google ads for it. Like we have some metal manufacturing companies, like they're metal precision grinding and precision cutting, metal. What's the word? Metalworks, metal manufacturing, door makers, gate makers. We have clients that do that kind of stuff. Now, like technical manufacturing, I don't have clients in that. However, it's all based on search volume. If the market is there, if people are searching on Google for it, you could put ads in front of them and generate those leads. If there's not ads, what I would do is non-digital marketing. What I would do is build a list of all the manufacturing companies that you'd want to target. And then I'd find out in those companies who handles what it is that you're looking to do. I'm assuming you want the clients. What do you recommend for clients, particular manufacturing, to get them more leads? Yeah, so I would find out. So if you're talking about if a manufacturing company is your client, how would you help them get more leads? I'd walk through that process. Is there search volume? Yes, put ads there. No, then okay, let's think offline. How, who are their clients? What types of businesses are they? And then I would think about building the list, and then I'd think about cold calling and direct mailing them, and also think about LinkedIn as well. I'd probably stick with those 3. Think about what kind of content you could write for those particular niches as well to bring in eyeballs. I need more context on that one as well. I love those kind of questions from a marketing consulting standpoint. I need more of a picture. Nadal, nice to meet you, man. Raul, like if I had a manufacturer as a client and I want to run his Google search ads, what would I do? Okay. So you got to tell me what kind of manufacturing he does. So what does he manufacture? Let's say he manufactures widgets, as like the old economic example that they do in all the textbooks. If he is a widget manufacturer, you'd go into Google and you'd find keywords for widget manufacturer near me, best widget manufacturer, widget manufacturer pricing, those kind of things. I would imagine for manufacturers, depending on if it's really localized or it'd be something more regional or national, that would depend on, how you set up the geo-targeting for it, or even international. Yeah, that's how I would approach it. It's pretty straightforward. It'd just be like running ads for a roofing company or a divorce lawyer. It'd be the same thing. Last question. What do you think of the future of the PPC business? I'm still bullish on it. People are still going to Google looking for things. I think I'm interested to see what happens with the antitrust litigation stuff going on in the US and I think in the UK, if I'm not mistaken. If it's not going to be at Google, it's going to be somewhere else. So I think there'll always be search marketing. It may be more audio in the future, like Alexa style stuff and Siri style stuff. I think there'll always be opportunities for search ads. To what degree, I'm not exactly sure, but I think for the next 5 or 10 years, we'll be fine and in a good place. And I think some of my colleagues and people I talk with fear the local service ads, that carousel of ads up on the top now. It's not really to be feared. Only a certain percentage of the market's going to click those, just like anything else. And the client can only get so many of those per month. So there's always going to be opportunity to spend on Google Ads and drive business that way. So I'm not that intimidated by that. I think that's fine. I think it's just Google further monetizing their asset. Can we get in touch and then maybe do some business? Raul, so yes, it just depends. I think you said you were in India earlier, if I'm not mistaken. At this point, we're only working with US-based businesses because I have kids and the hours of operation overseas became too much for me when I was a single man. I used to work 24 hours a day. Now that I got kids, I work on US East Coast hours. What I can do though is recommend you to one or two colleagues that do work with overseas companies that we recommend. So if you want to submit your information on our white label page and just remind me that you came from the YouTube chat, I'll introduce you to a colleague or two of mine based on what you're looking for and point you in the right direction. Cool. Anything else, guys? If not, I'm going to get out of here. I came on for 15 minutes and I'm on for 56 minutes. I guess that means I'm getting more comfortable with this, which is goal accomplished. All right, guys. Anything else? If not, I'm going to jump in 5 seconds. Oop. Awesome. Thank you, Raul. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Have a great day. And who knows? Maybe I'll pop on again tomorrow. All right. See you guys later. Bye.